Hello and welcome to In the Weeds. We're recording live from the Picky Weeds Esoteric Occult Boutique, located just south of Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, in beautiful South Abington Township. Picky Weeds is the largest and most diverse boutique of its kind in Northeast Pennsylvania, with an increasingly wide variety of items for many traditions.
In addition to items for sale, Picky Weeds hosts a wide variety of classes, events, and community-driven gatherings throughout the year. Picky Weeds is located at 105 Layton Road, South Abington Township, PA. Open Wednesday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. More information can be found at www.pickyweeds.com. That's PICKEYWEEDZ.com, or on our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. In the Weeds is the official podcast for Picky Weeds, where we strive to bring the community together with topics of interest, guest speakers, and informative discussions to benefit the entire community.
If you'd like to be a guest speaker, either live or remote call-in, please visit www.pickyweeds.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, find In the Weeds podcast guest application, click it, copy and paste the text into an email with your contact information, and send it to us at pickyweeds@gmail.com.
Now let's get in the weeds.
Good morning, everybody. It is Season 2, Episode 25, and we have Kayla Marcisco with us today.
Hi.
And we've known Kayla and John for 4 years.
Yeah, since we opened.
Yeah. We actually went to their wedding.
Yes, you did.
We played parents.
Of course, you're a pagan parent.
That's right.
Best wedding ever. Too.
Yeah, it was amazing. They did the whole jump the broom thing. Everything was great. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I know. We always say we wish we could do it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should absolutely redo your vows.
Oh, we're going to.
In the same spot. We should have a kegger this time.
Oh, perfect. It's actually funny. We,
Lean forward. I can't hear you.
Lean forward. You can't hear me?
You're like, oh, gangster.
I am. I'm just very tired. I'm laying down in my chair right now, so you can hear me. I told her we should have a kegger this time. There you go.
we're actually talking about maybe next time we'll like rent out a castle and just invite like our closest people.
That would be awesome.
Right?
A haunted castle.
Right? Maybe play some D&D, some magic like the night before.
I was so sick the day of your wedding.
I know.
Yes.
It was like, she's like, you just go home. Like, no, we have to go.
I know. I was so glad you guys came to the ceremony, though, at least.
I am too. It was beautiful.
We are too. It was stunning, and we cried, and it was great. I was fine until I looked around me, and there were like 5 men crying, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
You're supposed to hold it together, asshole."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Ooh."
It was absolutely beautiful.
It was beautiful.
John still makes me cry with his vows. He'll just randomly quote them at me all the time, and I'm like, "Don't do that to me."
It was so funny to see everybody leaning in, trying to hear, and we were all like leaning very conspiratorially.
It's actually really funny because we didn't realize until like the reception that nobody could hear us.
No, not
we didn't realize, and I felt so bad because like I was like when I was saying my vows and I made like a little joke in there and nobody laughed and I was like, okay, I'm just
that failed.
I thought it was funny.
yeah, like, sorry, I put my heart and soul.
I don't care what you people think.
But then it made me feel better, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we couldn't hear. We were all leaning. Like I heard bits and pieces of it, and the 5 men that did hear some of it, they were the ones that started the whole crying escapade. And I was like, thanks for that. I was doing great. And then I looked like a raccoon after. Yeah. And I don't wear makeup very often, so it was all over my face.
It was beautiful because it was a true pagan handfasting. And
it was stunning.
Absolutely observed so many different functions of it, and I don't think a lot of people have ever seen one before.
No.
Oh no. No.
Like there were Norse elements, there were traditional like Scottish Masonic handfasting, like just all kinds of elements to this thing that were just incredible. You guys did an amazing job.
It was Jamie that officiated, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, he did so beautiful. Thank you guys again for that, because we were like struggling. We were like, oh my gosh, who are we going to find that's going to be able to do, a real pagan wedding for us? Yeah. And when you guys told us, and when we were conversing with him back and forth, oh my gosh, it was just perfect. He did everything so beautifully.
He did.
Oh yeah, he did. It was gorgeous.
Yeah,
it was
I think
amazing.
we'll always recommend Jamie. So if anybody's out there looking for a handfasting,
absolutely
officiant,
Jamie Dana.
Jamie does a great job.
And he's, what is the name of the coven? Oh God.
I don't know.
Grove of the Ancient River.
I don't remember what
I
I,
believe-
did
yeah,
5
I believe
minutes ago.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Grove of the Ancient
My
River.
brain
Yeah.
is somewhere over there because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And it is definitely not in the building. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. I think he did a fantastic job.
He did. It was so
And
beautiful.
it was really good to see because you read about hand fastings, but to actually be there present for one that was more than just the chords. It was
Yeah.
the whole, all the elements of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
to see somebody actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
And realize how ancient and how permanent that binding is. You know,
Yes.
that it's so many people do it because it's the cliche freaking thing to do now and it's in vogue. To see it done traditionally and applied correctly
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that was
It was actual
That was a joy,
practice.
yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was really awesome.
Yeah.
And it was great that, like, it was so nice too because when we first met you guys, we were still very new to the practice. So we were still figuring ourselves out, figuring out what elements we
Yeah.
each wanted to do. So when you guys had the chords, immediately I was like, yes. And we went on a trip and we managed to during the trip it was like this jewelry store and they had these little charms and we each chose charms that we thought represented like each other together and separately individually and we attached them to our hand fasting cord and so that really made it even more special for us and then the fact that we were able to find our broom here as well it's
yes,
still
they
hanging
bought
up.
their broom from us.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Orion plays with it at the house all the time and I'm like can you not please
And the drinking horn we gave you guys.
oh my gosh
I'm trying so hard to find those at reasonable prices. It's freaking impossible. That thing was beautiful.
Oh, it is.
But by the time you buy it and put it out and you paid the taxes and the VAT on a good one, because the stateside ones are kind of campy.
yeah
The really, really good ones are coming out of the UK.
oh yeah
Oh.
I know, I couldn't believe it when you guys were like, here's your wedding gift from us. And we were like, are you sure? And that's why we're like, yeah, we have to use it in the ceremony. So I think that's something we really appreciate. Like, we clicked with you guys immediately. I mean, that's why we refer to you guys as our pagan parents.
Well, we love you. They're our kids. And your baby is our pagan godbaby. And he's freaking adorable.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better baby.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. Because he smiles all the time. He laughs all the time. Best temperament ever. And I don't like crotch goblins, but I love him.
He's a very sweet boy. I mean, we knew it from the beginning. I mean, I always worried I would struggle to get pregnant just because, I don't know, I kind of found it a miracle I didn't get, like, pregnant sooner.
Yeah. We took a lot of chances. That's what she's saying. There's a lot of
Read
unprotected,
between the lines. Exactly. But I remember just like we were trying, and I mean, we pretty much did on the first try. We got pregnant, which is fantastic. But I remember then all the nervousness, and I really stopped my practice. Like, I still meditated and I still did so many things, but my anxiety and just protection about the baby, I just really focused all on him on that. Yeah. And when we were finding out the gender, we didn't really care who it was. I thought he was a girl, though. I was like, I think he's a girl.
I got me a girl.
That's what I was thinking. And then John.
Shoot, I got a pea shooter right in the eye.
Exactly.
And they do it, too.
I think it might have been like the night before our gender reveal. John's dad had passed away back in 2020, in an accident. And he was like, hey, I had a dream and my dad told me the baby's a boy. Oh. And immediately I was like, all right. And of course I had to pretend, though. I had to be like, no. I had to hold on to, like, no, he's a girl. But I was like, if Chris said it's a boy.
It's a boy.
It's a boy. And that's why, like, his whole name is Orion Christopher Horiath Marcisco.
I love that. I love that.
We had such a hard time picking a boy name. I mean, we knew Christopher would be a part of it in honor of John's dad, and it's John's middle name as well. So, but the first name we were struggling. Oh man,
I love Orion.
And yeah, my
little hunter. Mm-hmm.
When we found it, it was perfect. We were like, we knew it right then and there.
Yeah. It's actually the first freaking constellation I ever learned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I always look for it where it's at in relation to the house, and as soon as it starts to be over the house, I'll look at it every night when we go in and speak to it. So you named your kid that.
Stop, I'm gonna cry.
That's true, because every time I got armloads of groceries, she's standing by the car, look,
Orion. It's right above the house.
yeah. Bags.
Just look at it. Just stop and look at it.
I swear, some of the constellations, like, how do you get a Scorpio from that?
I know.
What were they smoking?
Or some minor.
Some real good shit.
I mean, really. I
looks
want
like a
what
bull.
they're having.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes I
It's
look at.
insane.
I'm glad it's not only me. Sometimes I look at the constellation. I'm like,
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't-
Okay.
It's like those 3D pictures that everybody can see that I can't. I'm like, there's no fucking cat in
Was
there.
it the
You're
blue
having
dress,
me
green
on
dress?
for one. Yeah. Oh my
no,
god.
you're lying to me. You're lying to me.
Yeah.
The bitch is blue.
That bitch is pink. That wasn't even one of the colors, was it? The fucker is pink. I'm like, no.
Just trying to cause discourse now.
I am. That's
So
my
this is
wife.
nice because we've been doing a focus on area practitioners of NEPA, and we've kind of swayed away from that with the
Politics.
of the region.
Yeah.
So it's a nice break to.
Which is important. It's good to see that some of our babies are actually registering to vote.
Yes.
Yeah, it really made me proud this morning. I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been registered to vote.
Yeah.
Like even sometimes, like I know I'm registered, and they'll be like, "Oh, are you registered to vote?" I'll like do
Let
it
me
again.
check.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look.
Well, there's a lady in Texas posted that she had been registered for years.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden was unregistered.
And then she just had a spidey sense and
Yeah.
went and checked her registration, and it had been voided.
Yeah, because she had changed her address.
And they just voided it.
Yep.
Instead,
Yeah.
didn't notify her.
No.
If they did, she never got it.
That happened to me actually when
Yeah.
I think when the first time I was able to vote. I don't remember if I was 18. I think I was 18 when I was able to first vote, and that happened to me. I had changed addresses and I had put in the proper paperwork, but they were like, "Oh no, you didn't do it in time." And I was like, "I
No, I
definitely
did.
Oh,
did."
Yeah.
You gotta
definitely
watch
did.
them because we went to one of the last times we voted. Somebody was giving you crap about.
Oh
your-
God, I lost my shit. I was like, I voted here ever since we moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
stand
and I
your
forget
ground.
what even she was trying to allege.
No, they and she wasn't. They had taken the somebody had put the book together wrong and it was out of order. And so I was fuming.
Yeah.
I was mad. I
It was about to be Target 2.0
I will
up in
fight
this.
you. Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, this. You don't let me vote in the primaries because I'm a registered independent, and that's already disenfranchising me as a voter. Because in North Carolina we could. Remember, we always voted in the primaries.
Yeah.
But here, because of sheltered individuals on one party side, you don't get to vote in the primary if you're independent.
Yeah.
And they're so precious and so fragile.
Bless
That's
their
why-
hearts. Bless their
Yeah.
hearts.
That's why I had to change mine too, because I originally wanted to be independent, but then when I found out, and I'm originally from New York, so
Yeah.
that's how it's the same there too. You can't vote in the primaries if
Yeah.
you're independent. So I was like, well,
It's silly.
It's so stupid.
it really is.
We need more than two parties, and this shit would stop, and all voters would actually have their rights seen to.
And also just
Right.
a fair point to being able to campaign. Like
Yeah.
the fact, like I understand needing money to campaign, to travel and other necessities, your campaigning team, all this and that, but there's no reason why it should take that much money for someone
no.
to, like,
No.
you should just have qualifications, but apparently you don't need them to
Yeah.
become president, not the important ones.
Yeah,
anyway.
right. This is ridiculous, right? The rest of us, we can't hold office if we're felons. You just can't, and it should be that way all the way to the top. The highest office should not be above the law, but unfortunately, the Supreme Court saw to that being.
Yep.
Yep, they're well above the law. They're now king status. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of disgusting and disturbing, but yeah, no, I'm proud of you guys. Keep it up. Keep it up.
And if you're not registered to vote, if you're listening, please go register.
I
Please.
will frickin' take you if you can't get there.
Yeah. It's very,
Yeah.
very,
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can even do mail-in ballots. I did that actually.
Oh, yeah.
The last time I did mail-in because I had no way of I had no way of actually getting out to vote because of my work schedule. So
Caveat: make sure that thing's filled out right, and make sure it's in the correct envelope. It comes with an envelope that it has to be returned in, or it will be disqualified. So be sure it's filled out right and it's in the correct envelope.
Exactly.
And make sure the date is on it. Yeah. Yep. Now that we're off that tangent. How did we go down this road again?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the most pressing issue right
It
now.
is.
It is.
It
You know,
really is.
I don't think any of us want to be in an Atwood now.
Hells no.
know.
We've been looking at moving. But it's expensive.
Oh, yeah, to another country? Forget about it.
Oh, I know.
Unless you're a bazillionaire.
Oh no, yeah, because you
disgusting.
have because between just not even just moving costs, taking that out somehow, if you are able to move comfortably, great. But then it's all the taxes that you have to pay if you
Yes.
want to give up your citizenship. It's
The
like
visa requirements.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my
they have
God.
multiple kinds of visas, but unless you're like a remote worker, I think probably is the easiest one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Digital
Yeah.
nomad visa.
Or
Yep.
if you're
Yep.
just stupid rich, you make
Yeah.
a big donation to their country and you get a golden visa.
Yeah.
You know, that's a
or
lot
buy a
of them
piece of
over
land.
here.
There's a
Yeah.
couple places where you can buy a piece of land, whether it has a house on it or not, and you're automatically extended citizenship.
But I
Yeah.
don't want to leave.
Yeah. I don't either. I want to stay here and fight.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the pain in the ass pagan I've been my whole life.
exactly, and that's not that's not going to change.
No. No.
She's sure about that.
Yeah.
Put off an aura.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, maybe just a little bit.
Just a tad. We're a little bit filthy. He used to go by the handle Filthy Pagan back in his MIRC days. That's how I met him. When I met him, I didn't know he was John. He was Filthy Pagan.
I love that. I love that.
That was in the 90s, y'all.
Early 90s.
Yeah,
wow.
some little young Gen Z, Gen Y bitch told me, he said, "You're from the 1900s."
Oh God,
And like, don't make me come across this counter and choke you.
dear Lord.
Yes, I'm from the 1900s. I'm Gen X, bitch.
You know, I don't even know what gen I am because, like, it's always a disparity. Because I think technically, because I was born in '97, I'm technically Gen Z.
Yeah.
But I'm like on the border because some of the stuff that was going on, I still grew up with.
Yeah, you're still millennial growth. Yeah,
Yeah, like I had dial up. Like, what do you? I had a
Yeah,
home
yeah.
phone. What are
Yeah.
you talking
I
about?
remember the pioneer days.
Uh-huh.
Get off the phone. I'm on the internet.
Exactly.
Damn that Donner Party. Oh my God.
Yes, I played that game too. What was that, Oregon Trail? Yeah. That was
my
a classic.
Oh yeah.
I died consistently.
Same.
Oh, yeah. Everybody did.
And I'm worried about if we go back to the pioneer days, will I survive dysentery? I'm not sure.
I think if you didn't die a few times, you weren't playing it right.
However, missed I beaten 3 days.
Of course you did. But Elden Ring is making up for that.
Yes, it is. That fucking bitch came.
Have you played Elden Ring?
No, I haven't. I know we're trying to. It's hard because like we want to get more. We want to get more into gaming, but I think it's gonna definitely have to wait till Orion's a little bit
No,
older.
I get that completely. Oh, yeah.
It's extremely hard. Like, oh my God. I just,
Forehead to the mic. She wants you to hear her inner thoughts about the game.
yes.
Well, I
They're not-
don't make jokes about her falling off bridges because last weekend I couldn't stay on one. So we'll just leave it at that.
I love this game so much.
gosh.
Yeah, it's fun.
Every time we would go into that one, what was it? The island raid in WoW.
Mm-hmm.
AQ40.
AQ40.
No,
Old-
was it AQ40?
old school WoW, yeah.
And you would go across the first bridge.
Oh, no, that wasn't
no,
AQ40.
It was,
That
no,
was,
it was Zul'Gurub.
Yeah, how do you remember that?
I don't know, dude. I think
Probably because of the bridge you
the
kept falling
fucking
off.
bridge. That's why I remember it.
Every single raid.
And I would get eaten by the things that were down there every single time we went in there.
The raid leader's like, all right, everybody across the bridge except Ansoff. We know where she's going.
Asshole.
And she's like, fuck you. She fell off again.
It was flag.
And you get stuck in a bush.
Oh, God.
She got clipped into a bush, like a mob hit her, and her character got locked into a shrubbery.
A shrubbery?
And she's a little troll shaman, and she's just like, you can see her character throwing a temper tantrum. She's like, God damn it.
So I
Fucking GMs are fucking with me. I know they are.
Do you remember what I did to Jeff?
Yeah, you dueled him.
I said, duel me, Jeff, so I can get out of this bush and I fucking kill him.
And you were still in the bush. Somebody else dueled me. No, fuck you. Cross shot.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're not supposed to really duel me, Ansoff. What the hell is wrong with you?
Can't help it. Must kill. Must kill.
I must kill everything.
This one is hilarious in PvP. She'd be like, I don't really like PvP, but you get her in there, and she's like, fucking asshole. Fuck you, fuck you.
I got you now, bitch. I will res camp you till the day you log off. You will log off.
When she had when her shaman was low level, she was out picking flowers or something, farming. And I was a rogue, and when I stayed stealthed up, so you couldn't see me. Here comes Mr. Holy Paladin out like he's going to do something. He's all decked out, high
Because I'm
level.
a healing shaman.
And he goes to hitting her, and I come out of stealth and stun locked him into the ground. He come up and rezzed. I stun locked him into a tree, but didn't kill him. So I just stun lock and I hit him. I'm holding him by his throat.
With a healing.
She's whack, whack, whack with a healing mace. He starts to come. I stun lock him again. Dude, that guy must
Torture.
have thrown
that was
his
great.
controller across the
Because
ground.
it takes forever to kill somebody with a healing mace.
It was a slow, painful death.
Awesome.
Like this fucking rogue. And that was before diminishing returns when you could
I hated
actually
him
get
for
away
that
with
because
it.
we had so much fun with that. You could stun like somebody into oblivion. It was great.
Never ever saw that paladin ever again. I'm sure he uninstalled right then. Like, fuck this shit.
And those who remember her, my rogue was Stabalina.
Stabalina. I love that.
The goblin rogue.
Yes, I loved her so much.
She was like this tall.
Yeah, she was teeny tiny.
Daggers were bigger than hers.
Oh my gosh.
And I would just stealth up and still like you to death.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in early WoW.
Yes, we did.
When they kind of screwed it all up. It's just,
Oh my
terrible
God. I
now.
miss my Australians. I really do.
Yeah,
I
we-
would get up at dark 30 just to play with the Australians because they are really, really good.
They are.
And they are amazing, some of the best in the world. And the warlord would see me log on and go, "You coming into AV?"
I hate PvP. Yeah, I'll be right there. Are we going to raffle stomp people? I'll be right there.
Listen, she has to keep it up like she doesn't like it.
I
That's,
hate it. It's so
I hate it. It's
stupid. Okay,
disgusting.
queuing in. Because she used to get on me for playing all the time, and then I'm like, restarted her a character, and it was,
Oh, in fact, I had to quit, man, because it became like a job.
well, she got ball of gear.
Yeah.
I'm like, this game loves vaginas. What the fuck? I've been farming that
I
headless
told you
horseman
forever
mount.
to make a female character. I told you.
I farmed. They have a headless horseman mount during Samhain, so it's an actual Samhain festival, harvest festival, and it's a super rare drop off a holiday event. So you only have one time a year that it drops, and then it's super rare to get it to drop. I had been farming that thing for 4 years straight. Nothing. I farmed it on 12 different characters.
Oh, no.
Never got it. First fucking time. And so she made sure. Gee, what horse am I going to ride today?
no.
Just rub your face right in the shit.
You're the one that harped on me till I played, so I figured you had it going.
She was decked the hell out. I'm over here in crap. I'm hitting people
Green
with
gear.
pillows.
Green gear.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
We were making other people jealous in the raid groups, and oh god, that was a real thing back then, though. Guilds became really tight.
Yeah, they
You know.
did. They did.
I don't know if it's still like that or not, but
I don't know, but that is one game I actually missed. Have you ever played it? World of Warcraft, and we started out in vanilla, so when it was brand new
on a PvP server.
on a PvP server.
So you were safe in the very low B area, but as soon as you
level 10, you were done.
It was the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot about it. I just never really had, I've always wanted to. I just never really had, the resources to play it and stuff. But now we're we're getting in a good place once Orion's a little older and he's not as, destructive.
And needy.
Yeah.
He's still in his needy stage.
Oh yeah. He'll sit with John when John's playing his games and stuff. We actually got him his own little controller, so
that's cool.
Aw.
yeah, because we have the kids controllers that are Fisher Price that he has, but then we also have controllers that just don't work anymore, so he can also do it.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
So he'll sit
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll be on his lap, or he'll just sit next to him, and they're just playing games. Their new thing also in the morning is they'll John will take him while I'm getting ready for the morning, and they'll watch Power Rangers together in the morning. It's so sweet.
That's awesome.
It's so
that.
He's a
sweet.
good
love
daddy.
that.
Oh, he
is.
Knew
is.
he would be.
Oh
Yeah.
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 And he was so
you
nervous.
could tell.
Yeah.
Because he was just always looking at her and looking at her belly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
He was
it's gonna
always
be
so
awesome.
nervous about becoming a dad, and I told him because he hadn't really been around kids like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, John, you have the energy for it. You
Oh,
have
God,
the
yeah.
love for it.
yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I always tell him when he's always nervous or scared, and that still happens. I mean, I have experience with kids, and I'm still like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Because it's yours, right?
It
doesn't come with an instruction
Yeah,
manual.
like,
no.
They trusted me with this thing. What do
What
I
do I
do?
do with it?
If I mess up, it's on me. Like, but I tell him, I was like, you always put your heart and soul into everything you do, and it shows. And this is going to be no different. And I was like, it's going to be even more amazing because, you know, healing your childhood. Like they say, like I know there's some people that are like, oh, don't put that pressure on your kid. Let me tell you that there are some things that I didn't get to do as a kid, but I can do it now as an adult with my son. And it is so healing. And it's also not just for me, but it's so wonderful to see that like this is what I'm giving him. I'm giving him a great childhood. I grew up way too young. So I didn't get to experience a lot of things. And actually with my anxiety now, that's why I feel like I'm so scared about doing things, is because I didn't get a chance to do that as a child.
Absolutely it is.
When you're fearless, you know, you're fearless. You can rely on your parents to help you. I didn't really have that.
No.
Yeah.
So to John and I, it's so big that we do that for him. Like we always want to take him places. Like we just took him to Atlantic City. Oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome.
He loved the beach.
The lights were crazy. He liked the beach better?
Oh, he loved the beach. Aww. He wasn't a fan of the ocean, though. He was not. He was, every time the waves came up, he was like, no thank you. But if John or I took him in, he was okay. Yeah. But he loved the sand. He loved the boardwalk. He loved seeing all the lights, all the people. Oh, he had a blast. Yeah. In the hotel room. Oh, my God. He played with the mirror. You know how they have like the mirror doors sometimes? Yes. At first he ran into it. I felt a little bad. Oh, no. My poor baby. But then he got back up and he was playing peekaboo with his reflection. That's he was awesome. Dancing with his reflection. It was just so sweet.
Now she's got to get him a mirror for the house.
Yeah, that's what we said. I was like,
put it on the door. They make those cheapies that you hang over the door. They're pretty much unbreakable. Have you seen those? They're kind of like a plastic composite.
Yeah, we were talking about getting him one, so he'll have one, because we think that'll help a lot with him, because, you know, I stay home, so I'm with him all the time, which is great, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't want to do things because he's like, it's mom. Whatever. She's here all the time. Yeah. Who cares? And it's hard because, like, I have friends who have kids, but some of them are either too young to really play with him because they're still like little cute potatoes, or they're older and like they can kind of play for a little bit. Like there's a little bit of overlap, but then it's too much. Yeah, he's too little for some of the things.
He's too oversensitized. Yeah. Yep.
And he's very active. Oh my goodness, I've never seen a more active child. And he was like that in the womb too. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
How old is he now?
He's 14 months now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it.
I know. No, it seems like just yesterday we were finding out we were pregnant, and now he's...
Oh, it flies.
He's so beautiful,
really
too.
flies.
God, he's so pretty. I knew, looking at the two of you together, he was going to be a pretty youngin'.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it. I could see what he was going to look like.
Yeah. I was always so worried. I was like, because you know some babies don't come out that cute right away. Yeah. Luckily enough, he did. But I remember. I think that was one of the first things I said. I was like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. He's not ugly.
Yeah. Thank the gods.
Oh my God. It was such a scary experience, though, too, because I was high risk.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, so it was really scary. Luckily enough, the pregnancy was great. We had no issues. We were induced at 39 weeks. Everything was going fine. You know, they gave me like the Pitocin, all this and that. I was fine. And then I was having contractions, except I wasn't having them where they said they'd be. Like everyone's like, oh, you're going to feel them in like your low belly, your low back. I was having them in like my hips.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, that doesn't feel
like, wait
right.
a minute.
And they were like, well, if you want the epidural, you're going to need to get it early, because there were a lot of other women who were C-sections epidurals that day. Like it was a busy day.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're going to need to do it early just in case we're in surgery, so that, you know. So I got the epidural. That was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but still awful. Just because you can't have anybody else in there with you. It's just the nurse. But my nurses and doctors were fantastic, though. But then I was feeling great. I had no pain. I was chilling. I was smiling. Like I was.
This ain't a thing.
Yeah.
I took a nap with a smile on my face. But when they were checking my contractions, they were like, "Well, we're only able to either get his heart rate or your contractions. We're not able to get both for some reason." Yeah. And we're like, okay, maybe it's just the way he's positioned. So they had me flipping over like I'm a turkey, just like flipping me over back and forth. And like my cousin who was there with us, she's had 4 kids, and she was looking, she goes, babe, she goes, you're not feeling anything? I was like, no, I'm feeling great. She's like, you're having like pushing contractions. And I was like,
I can't feel them.
And they were checking how dilated I was. The most I got was to 5 centimeters, and I was stuck. And they were like,
that happened to me.
They were like, so listen, like, we're going to give you a little bit more time, but you might want to prep for a C-section. It's not emergency.
Yeah.
But they were like, we want to give you more time because we know this isn't part of your birth plan, but we're worried because since his heart rate keeps dropping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So went in, poor John, freaking the hell out. He went out to smoke, calm himself down. So they're prepping me. They get me wheeled in. And he comes back and he goes, oh, what do you think it's going to be, like 20 more minutes? They're like, no, she's in there now. You got like maybe 5 minutes. And he was like, oh, shit. And he goes in. Poor guy. He barely looked, but they already had me open. Like, they already had me open. So he's like, no, thank you.
Yes.
But
Gonna pass out now.
He was fantastic, though, once he got there. Like, oh, my God. Like, he's my rock. He really is. Yeah. Like, he took a voice recording of the whole thing because it wasn't fast enough to get like a video, but then he got some pictures as well when they held Orion up. But the first time we heard him cry was just, oh my God.
We finally did it.
We did this. We did that.
We made that. Look at it. Yeah. It's perfect.
It was such a beautiful experience, and I can't wait to do it again. I mean, not for another few years because he's a handful in himself.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, but you're practiced now.
Yeah.
You know what to expect.
Exactly.
Isn't it funny the first time you put him in a car seat and you're so worried and you keep going back and checking it that it takes you forever to leave the driveway?
Yeah.
I sat in the back. Oh my God. I sat in the back seat until he was maybe 7 months old because I was so nervous about leaving him back there. Because also he was so tiny. Yes. I mean, he was only, at birth, he was only 7 pounds, 14.7 ounces. Like, he was tiny. And they were telling us he was going to be 9 pounds.
And they're facing the wrong way. I didn't even think about getting you in that mirror. I should have done that.
Oh, we got him one.
For the back seat so that you can see him from the front seat?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
We ended up...
It terrorizes you because SIDS.
Yeah.
And you're afraid that's going to happen in the car seat the entire time they're back there. It's always in your brain.
I swear the first 6 months I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't.
Totally
because
And
I know they talk about bed sharing and stuff. We still co-sleep. But that's because every time I put him in the bassinet, first of all, he hated the bassinet. Yeah. Screamed his head off every time I set him down. They're like, oh, you got to get him used to it. No, this boy would cry, just continuously cry. And I was like,
stop.
It would not stop. And I was like, I can't do that. So we still use the safe methods. I mean, it's easier now that he's older and stuff. But it was so scary. Like, every time I sat him in the bassinet, I was afraid to go to sleep because he was so early with everything. He rolled over so early that I was like, he can't even be in the bassinet anymore.
Yeah.
And we tried to put him in the crib, hated it. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But he started sleeping through the night at 3 months old. So it was like...
Yeah. Why not?
He's a very chill baby.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God, he's so happy all the time. Yeah. It's amazing.
But I know
you can tell he feels safe.
I know what you're talking about. Though. When I brought Addie, my daughter, home, I was just like, who is trusting me with this alive thing? Yeah, like you said, check the car seat 1,000 times, ride back there.
Do they not know I have a pop can trying? They let me have it.
Up several times during the night. Is she breathing? Is she breathing? Is she breathing?
Yes.
They're like, oh.
Yeah. You're licking your finger and sticking it in front of their nose.
Yeah. The stress of that.
Yeah. Making sure they're breathing, making sure, there's so many things out there that they don't tell you also, that can happen. Yeah. And I guess it's for good reason, though, too, because, some of the stuff is so rare that it's like, I don't think my anxiety could take any more things to find out about.
That's why I kept my mouth shut the whole time you were pregnant. That when they gave me the epidural, it actually killed me. My heart stopped. Yeah. And it's exceedingly low blood pressure. So we're not saying that in front of her because she's already got a challenging pregnancy. So I didn't want to dissuade you from doing it, but in a way I did.
Yeah.
It's because it terrifies me. So I always, but I had to meet her that.
Yeah.
That was hard.
I really didn't want the epidural, but like I said, it was the fact that I was having so many weird pains and they were like, listen, if you're not going to get it now, you may not get it and it might be too late. It ended up working out, though, because having that epidural made it easier for the C-section, the tap. It was already...
Yeah.
connected, so I didn't have to worry about it. But
Do you have some connective tissue disorders that you don't know about with the hips, with what they were doing?
I that's part of the reason why I need to go to the doctors too, because I've been having issues with my hips. So before I was pregnant, I had issues with my back. My back is fine now. I don't know. He corrected my back.
I straighten it out.
but now it's my hips.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always had a little bit of issues, but it's gotten worse.
Are they popping? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I kind of wonder. So, do any of your joints do weird things? Mm-hmm. And how about is your elbow straight up? Does it, go with your hand? Well, no.
No, but
you're in on your elbow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of wonder, because like the EDS variant, like the hyperextension, that's what it sounds like you were having in your hips.
I have it in my knees.
Yeah.
So I actually dislocated my knees, my knee a few months ago.
I do it all the time and have to put it back in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shoulders will fall out. I'll just be doing something, my freaking shoulder will fall out.
Well, when you get over 50, everything starts falling apart.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I thought 40 was bad. That was just a prelude.
And
Nothing.
she hit me in the ankle, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And it's still not healed.
Oh, wow.
It hyperextended it. She slid right into me, and I went ass over tea kettle, and and hyperextended it, and it's never gone back. So I can be walking, and my ankle will just go.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. That's crazy. So I think that's it. Have a look at that.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that can be like, there's not a lot they can do for it if it is.
Yeah.
It's pain management, but at least you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to know than not know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's disgusting. They can't do anything for
I know.
I'm like, but honestly, when I was coming up, and probably when you were young too, you heard the term double jointed. Mm-hmm. So they didn't know anything about this. That's what they thought we were.
Yeah.
I mean, I could lock my legs behind my head, walk around on my hands, do kind of crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
my knees, when I stand, I can like push my knees back really far.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's EDS.
That's why you hurt so bad in the morning.
Yes, it's terrible.
Oh, that's
awful.
what that is.
Yes.
I feel
It's
like in the
awful.
morning I'm like,
Yes.
You're like a transformer.
I have to literally roll my knees off the bed and pop my back in. Yeah, and then I can get up, and then I'm dizzy. It's like an adventure.
She lays down, she's dizzy. She stands up, she's dizzy.
I'm just a dizzy broad.
I wonder why you fall off bridges all the time.
Well, when I look at stairs, they disappear.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we were looking at houses when we first moved here, and we had to tell our realtor, if you can get a single story, that would be great.
We didn't though.
We ended up with a split level, so there's stairs
Really,
everywhere.
really awful.
oh yeah.
But she couldn't, in a couple of the houses, she couldn't even go upstairs because she could go upstairs, but coming down
Yeah.
looks like a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stairs.
That's how
disappear.
our stairs are to get up to our apartment. I hate it. John fell down them once, and I was pregnant, and I thought he broke something, and I couldn't even look at him. I was crying. I was in tears because I'm like, I can't pick him up.
Yes.
I can't do anything. Luckily enough, it was only a slight sprain. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was so scary. And of course, when you're pregnant, everything's heightened and everything else. Oh my goodness, it was so terrifying.
This one's knee went in the driveway, and I had to pick him up and put him in the car and drive him to the ER.
I'm so old, I threw my knee out stepping into my truck.
Yeah.
Literally put my foot on the
And the knee
Step.
went this way and the leg went that
and my
way.
knee went snap,
Yeah.
and I went,
I mean, if it makes you feel better, when I dislocated my knee, I was trying to get off the couch.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
fun.
it happens.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah, that's
silliest things. Were you doing something crazy? No, standing.
Literally, I was like, I'm just trying to get off the couch. That's all I was trying to do. Oh man, it was awful.
It's terrible. Yeah, but at least now, we kind of got an inroad to what the hell's going on, congenitally speaking. Because, that is heredity. So it's like, take a look at that.
Definitely will.
But the thing is, work on the pain management.
Yeah.
Because I won't take pain pills of any kind. I just won't. Tylenol's the heaviest hitting thing I take. It's,
I don't really
And
take
I don't like
anything
to take it.
if
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
I did have to take something after the C-section, but that was it took a lot of convincing because I really was like, I don't want to take it because I don't like the way it makes me feel.
No, I don't either.
It makes me super tired, but then I'm only able to sleep like maybe an hour, and then I'm just like
Groggy and
the whole rest of the time. But it was at one point, it was so bad because one of the stitches didn't like pop or anything. It was just more like the whole thing like stretched a bit.
Oh, ow.
And Orion was just all over the place. Like, even as a baby, he was like basically trying to crawl at 2 months old.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
excuse me. And
Aren't you supposed to be still and needy?
yeah, right? So, like, even before the 2 months old, I was just like at my 6-week appointment, they're like, oh, everything looks good. But I was like, everything still feels so, like, tight, though. Like, I was like, I don't like the feeling. And it was just really sore. I couldn't sleep. And I took one finally, like, during the day. Because I was like, I refuse to take them at night.
Yeah.
And honestly, after that one, I never took another one because I was like, it's awful.
They're awful. It's terrible. I don't know how people get addicted to it.
I don't know.
I get addicted to uppers. Yeah, that was my problem. That was my big beast to deal with. Is that I was kind of an amphetamine freak. But yeah, but that feeling out of control and that groggy and that focus, and that's the Virgo in me. Virgos can't be out of control. We must be in control. Everything must be orderly. It must be so.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. No,
Is it clean? It's not Virgo clean, but you can clean it. You can eat off it.
See, and I had an issue when I first turned 21. I had an issue with drinking because, of course, I'm like, oh, I'm loose, I'm good.
Yes, you're in your flow.
I was in my flow, and it like I didn't even realize it was like a problem until it was like I was realizing how much money I was spending on alcohol every week.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just like at the bars because I didn't really drink at the bars because I was super afraid of people drugging my drinks.
Yes.
So, and it did happen to me once, and I was like, never again.
Yes.
Oh, it's terrifying.
So I always made drinks at home. I make them super strong. Like my friends always were like,
like 4 fingers.
yeah. And the thing is, I mix it really well, so you couldn't even
2
taste.
fingers.
Yeah, it's too.
Couldn't even taste the alcohol. And I realized I don't know. I think I finally like looked at all the empty bottles I had, and I was like, "Ooh, I might have a problem."
Yeah.
The whole trash can is full of bottles.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And it was actually funny because around that time was when I met John, so it like worked perfectly. That I was like, "Oh, I don't really need to drink anymore.
No, I just need my person."
Yeah.
I'm good. I think we've got like 4 or 5 wine bottles in the fridge that probably haven't been touched in 6-7 months, and I need to just throw them out.
I just don't care.
Yeah. I just don't want it anymore.
That's how I used to enjoy like a glass of wine every now and again, like at night and stuff. Even now, I really don't. Like it's a rare occasion when I do have a glass of anything.
Yes. It has started to make me itch. I think I'm allergic. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
I know it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Now. I get really sick from it now.
Yeah.
But when you're young, it's like that whole,
the allure.
rebel.
This is my problem with America. So if you're raised in Europe, kids are like have drinks at certain times during their life at dinners and stuff like that. So it takes the taboo away.
There's no mystery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it is a mystery. When you're a kid, you see adults and you know you're not allowed to do it. So it's the only thing you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're telling me I can't do it.
Unless you have parents like mine that just let me do it.
Yeah. There's that.
Me putting rum on the gums because they hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving brandy when I had a cough and a sore throat.
Yes.
I think all of our parents had that cabinet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the sick cabinet.
Ours was moonshine.
Yeah, corn squeezins.
Yes, it was.
The first time down in your mom's kitchen, I'm like, the fuck is in this mason
and
jar?
neither one of them drank. They
And
just
she's
kept
like,
it for
that's
cold.
medicine.
Yeah.
I'm like, it smells like shine. Because it is.
Because it is.
Medicine. I'm like, okay.
We put a little dollop of honey in it, a little bit of lemon.
You get that at the CVS?
Yep.
No.
And it was a real thing, too, like blue flame.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. If you didn't have a candle, you could just light that. It would burn all night long.
There you
Right?
go.
That's it. Oh, it's great. And then I remember I bought her peach moonshine from West by Guy, Virginia, from my fellas up there that make the best moonshine you've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And you put it in the freezer and you keep it cold and you're drinking it and it's so sweet and so lovely and so light, and then you try to stand up.
I think, the only real drink we have is like during holidays.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
and we'll pour one out for the gods, for the ancestors, and everybody will have a sip, you know, and that's really about it. I mean, Jay turned us on to Whistle Pig,
I do love Whistle Pig.
and it's
Ever had it?
really good whiskey.
Ooh, see, John loves whiskey.
Yeah.
It's a rye.
It's a rye. And it tastes like it's got notes of cinnamon and oaken barrel.
It tastes
and
like it should be way more expensive than it is.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, it's
lovely.
really good stuff.
We
So
get
have that.
we get our mead from now that I'm saying it, I can't remember. Oh my gosh,
Space Time?
Space time,
Yes,
yes.
I knew.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, that's what we had at the wedding. We had the Universal Love at the reception,
that's awesome.
and we have the heart decanter that's from them as well. And that's usually what we use for our holidays as well. Is that we'll drink some and we'll pour some out for the gods. That's our go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's awesome.
it's amazing. And they actually even gave us a bottle of like champagne for our wedding too for us
Oh,
afterwards.
sweethearts.
And,
That's so awesome.
they're so sweet and they're amazing. Like we love going there. It's,
Yeah.
it's
I love
amazing.
that.
Where are they?
That's so
Where are
cool.
they at in Scranton? Or?
No, they're in Dunmore.
Dunmore.
They're right past like the Turkey Hill, like
Oh,
right
okay.
there.
You'll see the tanks.
Oh,
Space
okay.
time
Yeah, I know where you're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If we ever have free time, we have to check them out.
Yes. Are you guys open on Monday and Tuesday?
I don't know what free time is, but I've heard of this concept.
I'm interested to find out what this is.
Me
Yeah.
too.
You don't have any
Yeah, you
anymore
have
now.
none.
No, there's Sesame Street, there's Miss Rachel, those are my good companions.
I'll take it.
Are you excited to watch him grow and,
Oh, yeah.
and develop? It's really
So
an
amazing.
amazing experience, and I missed out on mine, but I got to be with Chanel as she grew up,
Yeah.
and it was exciting.
And we raised her like all different, she had exposure to all different faiths.
That's how
So she could make up her own
Yeah,
mind.
we didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't want to force her in any way. We
Yeah.
wanted her to make her own decision.
That's how we want to raise Orion.
And if you want to make a change,
think
if you
that's
make that
beautiful.
decision, that's fine too.
I mean, you guys
whatever.
know we had him baptized
Yeah.
at St. Eulalia's. And
Yeah.
and originally it was John's grandma who really pushed it. And at first we were like, we don't know. Like, we already had baptized him in our way. But we were thinking about it and we're like, what's the harm in it? It's a very family, like, all the kids got baptized and it was very beautiful. It was,
Yes.
Yeah.
it was very beautiful. And his family's very, it took a little, with finding out we were pagan, like, a lot of them actually found out at the wedding.
Yeah.
But
What is this strange ceremony?
I know. That was so funny to watch, too.
But
They were really sweet and respectful about
Yes,
it.
they're
It was
very-
mind-blowing. I loved it.
And even John's Aunt Paula, who was his godmother, is actually Orion's godmother. And she's amazing. And he loves her. He adores her. And, she came to us afterwards. She goes, when he's a little bit older and if he wants to go to church, like, I wouldn't mind taking him. And I was like, if that's what he wants to do,
Let him
please
it.
do.
Yeah.
I did that with Chanel. She went with my parents a lot, and she went with some of her aunts. She also went to synagogue. She went to like temples and pagan gatherings, and I think they should. I think they should. I think it's their spirituality.
They
need to-
should make that choice.
Exactly. They need to come into it on their own. I mean, I was never baptized because my mom didn't want me baptized because my dad is Baptist and my mom is Protestant, but my dad was very, like, he was a minister at one point, and my mom was very much, I want her to make her own choices.
Yes.
Good for her.
And and I know that really stuck, like, my dad is not happy. Like, he still doesn't know that we're pagan, and it's not for embarrassment. It's more just I don't want to hear him.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear your mouth.
I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to deal with it.
Well, we were indoctrinated.
Yeah, very
and
badly.
There was no let the child decide in our house.
it was forced.
Yeah.
It was this way, and that's it.
That's how
You
my
know?
dad was. I mean,
Remember, you're
even
sick, you're still going to church.
Yeah. I mean, even just like the ways he would bring about it. Like, I remember for a project when I was a kid, I had to, it was about like our family history. And of course, I'm mixed. My dad is black. So of course, gets very complicated, especially at that young of an age. Like, I think I was maybe 8. Like, it really young age to really be trying to dig in. And I just remember him going off on such a tangent. And I remember him showing me the movie Roots at 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then going into a whole Bible study. And at first...
Roots is hard on a damn 8-year-old.
Yeah, and I remember...
It's very violent.
It's hard to watch,
and it's hard to watch as an adult.
Yeah.
And it was very hard because at first I wanted to do Bible study with my dad because it was a close, it was something we could do
It's your
together,
daddy.
and that just really drove me away from it. And just like all these other things, like it's really funny looking back. Like, I was sitting like before today, I was thinking, I was like, how did I get it? Like, I know the thing about John and I, like, we really discovered it together.
Yeah.
But there were sprinkles of it, like, throughout my life. Like, a friend of mine, her cousin asked if she could do chakra cleansing on us because she was studying. And she was like, I really need to work on this. And I was like, this sounds amazing. And that really opened my eyes. So that was, like, my first, like, big experience to it. And then, there's, of course, there's people who do like palm readings and stuff like that. There's this lady I went to in Maine, and at first, like, I was like, oh, I don't know, I think I might be getting ripped off, but she just had this energy around her, and I was like, I don't know, like, even if I don't get like my palm, I was like, I just want to talk to her, like, I felt, and I ended up getting my palms read, and it was very insightful, like, for at that where I was in my life. Like, I had just found out my boyfriend of 2 years had been cheating on me. I was in a different state. I was having medical issues. I was having seizures very often, and like the way she just like explained things to me, like, we had a wonderful conversation, and that really stuck with me. And then after that, I wanted to, but I just never knew how to get into it. And so it was really amazing when John and I like got together, and he was like, so I want to tell you something, but like, I don't know
how to phrase it.
And I was like, oh my God, me too. Did we just become best friends?
I kind of like you better.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
You're filthy.
Let's do it again.
Love it.
And I was kind of in it by myself because I was surrounded by evangelical Christianity where I'm from. And they are deadly. They're dangerous. It's just, holy crap. And people tell me all the time they want to move down there, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, they have this image of the South. And
that is not realistic.
Sipping mint juleps on the porch, and the breeze and the cicadas are going.
And how friendly and gracious all the people are, and very welcoming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. As long as they think you're one of them,
They're so nice down there. Aren't they?
Sure.
Are they?
And there are a lot of nice people. There are.
But Becky saying, bless you, bless your heart, is like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. They're a little step up on the craftiness.
Yeah.
And,
they're way ahead of the curve on that.
And, and religious indoctrination anywhere is bad, but in the South it's particularly bad because you have nowhere to turn.
Yeah.
And there is literally a church on every street corner. Yeah. As our friends from Ireland were like,
God,
we're from Ireland. We've never seen so many churches.
Yeah.
And this is a very small, at the time, it was a small town in central North Carolina. Yeah. And there was literally a church on every street corner.
Yeah. I know. We were talking about moving, like, North Carolina, but I'm like, ooh, we got to do research. Because
it's hot as balls down there in the summertime. You got to mow your lawn at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it's terrible. You walk out the door, and you open the door to the house, and a literal wave of heat hits you in the face. And it's, okay, we're staying in until at least 3-4 in the afternoon.
We've only ever really driven through, like, when we went to Florida, but this Christmas we're hoping to go down to see John's aunt that lives down there.
So where she live?
Oh my gosh, now that you ask me.
Of course I'd put you on the
Coast
spot.
mountains?
She lives...
Or in the middle?
I think she lives, like, more in the middle.
The middle is hot.
Yeah.
It's heinous. Yeah. It's heinous.
Yeah.
It's like an oven.
And don't get me wrong, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Stunning.
And most of the people down there are absolutely amazing. The food's amazing, especially the seafood.
I love seafood.
Anywhere on the coast of North Carolina, it will turn you into a complete snob for anything else.
I feel like, well, because my aunt lives in Maine, so I've had like some of the seafood in Maine.
Oh, and it's amazing up there too.
Good.
So and then when we went to Greece for our honeymoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I couldn't have calamari for the longest time after we got back because I got spoiled there.
Yeah.
I was like, nothing is gonna match up.
Here it's like chewing a shoe.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are y'all doing to it? You're destroying it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's what's so crazy too is how different the food is because John has stomach issues, and when we were over there, he had like no problems at all eating, and we were eating,
that's
we were
because
eating.
It's not full of poison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, there's people that tell me that I can't eat pasta here, but over there I can eat pasta all day long and not bloat and not have any problems whatsoever.
Oh yeah, we had a dinner. We paid extra to do this like 3-course dinner, and it was amazing. But let me tell you, I have never felt so full but not so bloated and so disgusting afterwards.
And you didn't feel like you needed a nap.
Exactly.
That's another thing I hear a lot from people that travel to Europe that are from here. They're like, I didn't feel like I needed to go lay down in the hotel room after I ate. Like we went and had a full day, had a great time, saw sights. And that tells you a lot about how much they're poisoning the people.
And the fact that you can lose weight while eating all the decadent stuff over there.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh my God, like
because they care and they walk and it's very communal. Like, we're very aloof here. We don't talk to each other on the street. We barely look at each other on the street. And there, everything's really communal.
Very much so.
Yeah.
They were very nice. Like, with the entire time we were there, like, it was really just other tourists that were, like, an issue. But the people, like, the Greek people, they were so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So amazing. Like, they actually, like, we get told, like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people don't hate Americans, because, I mean,
Yeah,
you
they
know.
do.
Yeah.
And with good reason.
And with good reason.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all.
No.
But they still treated us with such hospitality, and we were, you know, and we made sure we put our best foot forward too, because, you know, you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You know.
You went and roamed.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you should. Stop traveling and being an asshole. Everybody else has traditions. Be respectful. If you don't have to be observant, be respectful. That's all.
Exactly.
You know?
That was actually something I appreciated. We went through Gate 1 travel, and what I appreciated was, I think it was like a month before our trip, they sent us a whole packet, and it explained different things for the places that we were going in. Like, okay, here, you know, like, in certain things you can't wear shorts, you have to wear pants or longer things. And I was like, I really appreciate that, because I would have never known. Like, I try to do my best with my research and be, but, you know, some things don't come up.
It's a cultural thing.
It's a very exactly.
It's a
culture.
respect for the area and the people, you know.
And you should respect it.
Yeah,
when
you
you're going.
should.
That's
Exactly.
awesome. They did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciated that, because I was like, I don't want to look like an ass, because I appreciate the culture.
I don't want to be an ugly American.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate your culture. I'm sorry.
And eat all your food.
Yes, all your food is
Oh my
amazing.
gosh! Oh, the food was
The
amazing.
guy that I watched that moved to Mexico last year, he's lost 22 pounds in the first 6 months he was there, and he eats more there than he did
The
here.
food is healthy.
What
It's
does that
healthy
tell
food.
you? I mean, and I still eat all the same things.
We really need to do something
Yeah.
about that.
We do.
And
Yeah.
it's really bad.
They
in
took
this
a
country.
step towards it last month when they banned the use of the flame retardant in citrus flavored drinks. So they took a step. But
And we're talking about what the energy drinks is like sewage.
yes, it's sewage. It's the foam on top of the sewer plant. The
Yeah,
yellow
and people
stuff.
wonder why they're having stomach issues.
Yeah.
You know, hell, I had stomach issues.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I won't touch them.
We had to do a complete diet change.
Yes,
Yep.
we did.
We did too.
Yeah.
I mean, having Orion definitely helped, I would say, like, especially while being pregnant. Like, we always tried to be better eaters in general, but I feel like it's also very hard when it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, I don't feel
And you're
like
so
cooking today.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
I
just
mean,
want to stop and get something quick.
and it definitely makes it easier that I'm home now, because
Yeah,
now it's like, okay,
absolutely.
you know, I can cook, you know, you're coming home, dinner's ready, you know. But, you know, we've been definitely eating a lot better, but even then it's still hard to see a change. Like, we've really cut back the junk
Yeah.
food. Like, don't get me wrong, we still enjoy a sweet treat and everything,
You
but
should.
now
Yeah.
But shouldn't deprive yourself.
no, and I feel like that makes you fall off the wagon, so to
does.
speak,
It
a
does.
lot,
It does.
because you're restrained. It's all about balance, and that's what
it
I've been
is.
telling myself. And I've been, you know, I go on walks, like I take it. I mean, I'm chasing him around
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
So you would think, you know, everyone's like, oh, after having the baby, like, you should keep the weight off, because I lost 30 pounds while I was pregnant.
Yeah, but you can't.
It came right back, even with breastfeeding. They're
Because
like,
there are hormones in the food.
exactly.
And people aren't realizing this. And so they're eating the chicken that's been pumped full of hormones to make it grow up faster. Because they tell us they push chicken is the white meat. And that should be, you know, and then you're talking about all the pesticides in the soil. Even if you're growing organically, you can't avoid it because they've been spraying these things in the air for years and years now, and it's in the water too.
And, you know, even if you're vegan, it's not safe.
No,
you
hell
know,
no.
There's so
Exactly.
many chemicals
Yes.
used, and you're trying to do the, you know, eat right.
Yeah.
Or so you think.
Yeah.
And
it's like you're
awful.
damned if you do and damned if you don't.
For
Yeah,
one
it-
person that tried it that can't,
Yeah.
I have some sort of deficiency that there's an enzyme in the meat that I have to have in order to absorb protein. And so he'll tell you, it got bad. I was turning all kinds of like pale and yellow and had all kinds of problems. And
she loves her veg.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I eat veg like there's no tomorrow. But yeah, but it just about killed me.
Yeah.
Like I was down to a 4 on D3.
Ooh.
I was near death. Yeah, it was bad.
That's scary.
Yeah, my levels were done, and I was in miserable shape. I had an all over the body yeast infection, fungal infections in my ears. You name it. It was.
Oh my God.
It was freaking killing me, y'all. So some of us can't. So stop preaching at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so scary,
Yeah.
like, when you think about it, and it's like, you know, you're trying to do your best, you know, just to be in this world. Because it's like, it's not even just about that. Because then it's like, oh, just buy healthier foods. I'm trying to, but it's so damn expensive that it's taking all my money just to, like, the groceries that I would spend on the cheaper stuff would last me the whole month compared to stuff that goes bad in 2 days.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Then and then, you know, it's like for a pack of strawberries, it's like $4 or $5.
Yeah.
And it goes bad the day after you get it.
Yes, it
crazy.
does. Yes, it does.
We
Yes,
started
it
going to
does.
Aldi's.
Yeah.
I love all these.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Our grocery bill went from $300 a week.
Yeah, to about
to-
1 to 120.
Actually, and lately the prices have come down a little bit because I've been out of there for like $85 for a week's
and it
worth of
feeds us
groceries.
for a week.
Oh, wow.
It's just the two of us, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a big savings
Yeah.
Yeah,
compared to
it's
the
huge.
major grocery chains around here where have been gouging prices like
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
been terrible.
It's hard. I mean, because we're even like, there's food, you know, because I like to think I'm a pretty good eater. Like, you know, I at least like to try things once. And also your palate changes over the years.
absolutely.
It does.
And
Yeah.
John's, you know, John has really expanded his palate, like, especially now that he's become a chef. He's really, like,
Yes.
the way he cooks things now, oh my gosh. I'm
He's
so
into his
spoiled. I'll say it.
experimentation.
John, I'm telling you, I'm spoiled. I know I'm spoiled.
Yes, that's amazing.
Well, he's the type of guy that if he sets his mind to doing it,
Oh, yeah.
he's going to do it.
100%.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And he does that for Orion too. Like, we make breakfast for, you know, we really try to give him all these things. Like, even stuff we don't like, we make sure he tries it.
Yes.
And if he likes it, we make sure he has it. Because I feel like too many people are stunting their children as well. And
Yes,
I know
they
it's
are.
hard because you're trying to find, you know, not give your children this, not give them the bad stuff. But at the same time, they're not pushing them to eat the right things as well.
Exactly.
You know, and I know all toddlers go through a phase where all they want is fries and chicken nuggets. I get
I'm still
that.
in
Yeah.
that phase.
Yeah. I mean, who isn't? Let's be honest.
And I will not touch that shit anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, that's
Chemically
why.
extruded chicken, kind of,
But that's why John and I started making that stuff at home. We make home fries and
Yeah.
we make our own, you know, chicken tenders and stuff like that. And it's
That's the way to
so
do
much
it.
better. And it's
Yeah.
like, you can still give it to them. Just,
Yes.
you know, and I'm not judging because I get it. Sometimes, if some days you got to stop at McDonald's and stop at McDonald's. I'm not going to, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to judge anybody for that because
No.
you got to
No.
do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just not eating it anymore.
no, and that's,
I saw the box and that
Yep.
did it for me. I was like, oh God, chemically extruded. What the fuck does chemically extruded mean?
yep.
I don't like the idea of that. And why does it look like gray pink sludge?
Yeah, no, literally.
no.
I don't know why they'd want to poison their customers.
I don't either.
I mean, we're in business. We don't want to do anything to hurt our customers.
No.
Ever.
Because for them, it's all about money. It's because
Yeah.
it's the
It's
cheapest
short
way.
term.
It's short term and it's the cheapest way to do it.
Yeah.
It's very short-sighted.
Why shouldn't you want a customer for life?
Yeah.
And have that be a long life.
Yeah.
Instead of just make all your money and okay, screw you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not a very smart business plan.
Exactly.
Just
But there's so many of them doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and especially when you're bringing up a little one. And you see them get inundated with the chemicals, you know, and it's like you watch the change in the child and the weight problems start when they're very, very tiny. Normally that's not, if you look back 30, 40 years ago, you didn't see that in the populace. And in the last 30, 40 years, the weight problem has gotten worse and worse and worse in Americans. You didn't used to see this many fat people like me around
look,
here.
look at Clark Summit. Just there are corporate fast food everywhere. I mean,
You
and
can't go anywhere without it.
Mom and pop places that are so good in this town. They don't even get any attention compared to you have signs all over the place. These corporate stuff spooning you poison.
Yes.
You got Caravia, you know, where you could have a healthy meal.
Yeah.
You got Rosario's. You could have some of the best pizza in the area.
Abbiocco, home cooking. Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, what did we get? What was the new restaurant? Gaetano's,
Yeah.
whatever. And that's like so expensive.
Yeah.
And I've never eaten there, so I can't really comment if the food's good or bad.
No,
but
I
just
haven't
from what
had
I'm
it.
seeing, but
it's
it was like
really
$27 for a slice of meatloaf.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What- I'm like, we already had Alter House down the street where the food is fucking amazing, and the prices aren't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, we were all begging for something new, and everybody was so excited, and maybe it's worth it. I don't know, but to me that seems a little steep. Especially with the way the economy is, you know, people are having a hard time.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and so when you're having a hard time, those corporate stores are right there, and but now they're charging
No,
so
they're
damn
not cheap
much.
anymore.
You could sit down at Rosario's and have a full meal It's
what
the
you
same
pay
what
for
you're
McDonald's,
you're
yeah.
spending for extruded chicken.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
And Franken potatoes.
Franken
The
potatoes.
Franken potatoes at McDonald's scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know about that? Mm-hmm. The big ass potato that they spray all the pesticide on because
Yep.
they won't take a blemished potato.
Yep. It's crazy.
People, these potatoes have to be outgassed like 4 weeks before anybody can lay a freaking hand on them. They're
Yep.
that toxic.
We used to eat so much Rosaris.
Oh.
The old store is
Oh,
right
my
in front
God.
of that place. I'd be like, what do you want?
Place was a nightmare.
We've been
You could
smelling
smell
it
the
all
bread.
day.
Oh, I
so-
know.
Oh,
Amazing. That was the first place we ate in the Summit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're home.
Yep.
yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. And then it was the Nix. And I
so
love
good.
the
Next is great, too.
Yeah. Oh,
There's so many local places that I wish people would go to.
yes.
Yep.
You're
That's
going to have such a better experience.
Yeah.
The customer service is phenomenal. The
And you're
food is
paying
phenomenal.
for somebody's little league uniform, you
Yeah.
know, or their little dance wear, you know.
Yeah.
And as a parent, it's usually a mom and pop, and they've usually got kids,
yeah.
and they're usually contributing.
But
to
we
your
really
kids,
need
yeah.
more variety.
Yeah, we do.
There's so
Yeah.
many Italian restaurants. I'm not
my
throwing
gosh.
off. I love Italian food, but
Yeah.
maybe something different
But
would
I
be
love
nice.
Thai food and Vietnamese food.
You know what I
and-
you know what I
yeah,
want?
yeah.
I want some soul food.
Yeah,
Hell
some soul
yes.
food.
Oh my gosh.
I miss that from the
Yeah.
South. It was
I-
on every corner.
I
Yeah.
miss soul
Oh,
food.
God.
Like I make it's crazy around here because I make so every Thanksgiving. I mean, I didn't last year because it was crazy, but I usually make collard greens. My
I
dad
love
taught
you so much.
my dad taught me how to make them, and
Yeah.
you know, some people are like, "Oh, you got to use the pigs." I try to use what I can, but sometimes I can't afford all the
Yeah.
big stuff. So
Yes.
Yeah.
get creative with it. But even still, I try to like share it with friends and family members, and some of them are just so uptight about it,
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
And they're
no,
like,
I will come.
I won't try it. It's the greens, and I'm like,
I love the greens. Oh my god!
you won't even try it.
I could not
Yeah.
eat Yankee collard greens, but down in North Carolina, this
Yeah.
one,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
soul
Oh,
food,
yeah.
you speaking my language.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
all
the
day.
thing, no fake soul food. I
No.
want the real deal
No.
soul
Yes.
food.
I'm a Melungeon. We have our soul food.
Oh my God.
And we put sugar in our greens in the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah. In the ground.
Don't even get me started on her fried chicken.
Oh my god.
That make you smack somebody.
I believe
I
it.
had a chef throw her a shoe.
Triple dredged.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in Moss Breader.
Moss Breader
We
is the
have to
only breader I
import
use.
the breader because you can't buy it in Pennsylvania, nowhere that I know of anyway. So we have to import
So
that shit.
what I'm hearing is that we just need to have a good old potluck.
Yes, we do.
I will definitely
Yes,
help
we
eat
do.
whatever y'all cook.
And my ass will eat chitlins.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I will eat some chitlins. They stink like hell, but they taste like
And
heaven.
fry bread.
Yeah, and fry bread. I make fry bread.
Fry bread's the best thing. Oh my God, it's so good.
So I got it. We're speaking each other's language.
I'm a native fry bread girl.
Oh, cast iron pan.
And I make breakfast with red eye gravy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good food.
Oh yeah.
Good for
A
you.
little bit of fat back. Yeah.
That was in unison.
Black-eyed peas and collard greens.
Yeah, you eat good in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Oh my god.
The
And
food
the
is
barbecue is
amazing.
the best you're ever gonna have.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the difference too. Is that like I know I'm not like originally from South, but like my family is and stuff, and that's I hate that when people are saying, "Oh, come to a barbecue."
No.
Is it a
not a-
real barbecue?
That's not a
Yeah.
barbecue.
No, it's not.
Is there a pig picking cake involved?
And I make
Otherwise,
it-
it's
have you
not
ever
a
had a
barbecue.
pig picking cake? I make them. Oh yeah, the thin layer. The 10 thin layers with all the whipped cream and the cream cheese and the mandarin oranges and the coconut. Yeah, and the nuts. Mm-hmm. Yes,
You won't
I
hear
do.
from me for the rest of the day. 'Cause I won't eat and go to sleep. It's so good. I will say that there is no comparison. And I went to Texas. Sorry, guys, that ain't
Yeah,
barbecue.
that ain't barbecue.
North Carolina barbecue
Yeah.
is barbecue.
So if you go down there and you're ever near Durham, go to a little place called Picnic.
Oh God, I love this place.
Oh,
Got it.
It's set up communal.
Yeah.
So when it looks like a hippy dippy restaurant.
Yeah.
But when you walk in, there's long picnic tables.
Yeah.
And everybody sits together.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
off to the side of the building is the cooker.
Yeah.
And so you can, but when you get within a mile of the place, you're like, yeah,
you're like,
we're going the
I'm
right
close.
way.
Uh-huh.
And you get in there and they've got every craft beer you can think of. They have their own signature sauce.
That's amazing.
And oh my God, does this place throw down. But the best barbecue was the one you and your dad
In
went
Pittsburgh.
to. They serve you on a paper plate.
Yeah. Oh, and they put like newspapers on the table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a rundown place.
It does.
I'm telling you, the places that look the most run down are
amazing.
usually the best.
Yeah.
We say the same way about hoagies.
Yes.
If we see a hoagie place that looks, a little sketchy, we know there's going to be some good hoagies there.
Yes, ma'am.
Chinese food too.
Yes.
Like you want
Yes.
the real Chinese food, not
Because
the American Chinese
because
food.
they spend the most money on their actual food and
They
ingredients,
do.
not worrying about what the outside looks like.
Yeah.
We had
Yep.
a Chinese restaurant in Durham we used to go to, and they always set us in their section because I always asked for the Chinese menu because they have an American menu and a Chinese menu. And I always asked for things on the Chinese menu. So after the second time we were there, they stopped sitting us on the main floor and they started sitting us in the
Oh no, you
employee
come back
booths.
here. You come back.
We
You
sat
come back
Love
here.
that.
But they bring you out a bowl of fish soup, and it's for one person, and the bowl is this freaking big.
Of course, there's eyeballs floating in
I
it.
love it.
They're like,
amazing.
is she really going to eat that? Oh,
Yeah, she does.
See,
really eat
I
that.
always tell
Yeah.
myself, I always try to try something new, even if it looks like I'm like, ooh. I always try to try it at least once because you never know what you're
Oh, yeah.
missing out on.
Yeah.
And that's the same way I'm raising Ryan.
Amazing.
I always said I could never eat anything looking back at me.
But it's the best part of the damn fish.
We went to, back when
It
I was
is.
with the company I was with, we had a big meal in Manhattan and eating way above my pay grade.
Yes.
And they had the fish on ice all the way around. And so you would pick your fish and it bring it to you. And his eyeball looking at me. I'm like, oh, God. And you're trying to, like super high level people, and you don't want to look like a hit.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
won't
like,
eat
oh
that.
yeah, I eat this all the time, I'm like trying to remember my mom. Which fork do I use? I don't fucking know. I'm just a country ass.
Start from the left and move in.
It was the best fish I ever had. Best
Yeah.
fish I ever had. It
And the
was
cheek
amazing.
is absolutely the best meat on the damn fish.
Yeah.
And people will I don't want it with the head on. I'm like, give it to me with the head on. I got this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll take his.
Pig's feet. You eat that
Oh, I
shit.
eat pig's feet.
I
Yes, I do.
I ain't up to that level yet.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, is the key word.
I eat beef stomach, tripe. We call it tripe. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Tongue. Oh yeah. Put it on my plate.
I think the thing is too is that sometimes I don't want to know. Like I'd rather you just give it to me so I can have. It's like,
Yep.
oh, I don't want the whole like, oh, this looks gross. Oh, it's a body part. Like I don't want to know. Just give it to me. I'll try it. Because that's even like when I was younger and I was up in Maine visiting my aunt. I had escargot.
Yeah,
and at first
I love escargot.
At first, I was like, "Oh no, snails!" But then she was like, "No, I'm telling you." She goes, "Try it with their sauce. It's
Yes.
gonna change your."
I do. I do them myself with basil and butter.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh man.
amazing.
Oh my god, it changed my life. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god."
Any coastal
have I been
community,
missing?
they're gonna have the best seafood.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God, it's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Hooked, the place here, has got some amazing seafood. But,
Yeah.
but North Carolina turned me into a complete snob. So
Oh my
it
God,
needs
when
to
you
be
put
up-
the
up
scallop
to
in your
par.
mouth and it melts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've heard nothing but rave reviews about them, so
I
I,
know.
think they know what they're doing. But
Yeah.
most other places,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
won't- you
They
won't-
tout. That is a tautology and is awful.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever hit anybody for feeding me something is when he gave me a plate of something I ate and he told me it was snake. I punched him right in the face.
Yeah.
Pissed me off. Those are my babies. Don't be feeding me my babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John
Yeah.
won't let me get a snake.
I love snakes. They're my babies.
They're the sweetest babies.
Yeah, they are. Oh, my
I
God,
had
just
snakes
love
when I
them.
was younger and I loved them. They were just, oh my gosh.
Just put a little baby one in his hand one time and he'll get over it. I did that with him. He was scared of snakes. And I put a baby king snake in his hands.
Yep.
And he got to feel it and got to love on it. And it was a sweet little baby. And realized that it's not slimy and it's not scary.
Yep.
And that they are very, very affectionate creatures.
They are.
People think that they don't. People also think animals aren't sentient, you assholes.
Yeah.
But
be so fucking for real.
yeah.
Right.
But we had a ball python. Her name was Lilith. And she was an escape artist, but she never went anywhere. When she would escape, she would come straight to me and crawl straight up my shoe and onto my leg.
Oh,
Then
tell
we'll
the
be
truth.
picked up, yeah.
6 months after the king snake, we had 13 pythons and boas in the house.
And one Argentinian harlequin crossed boa that was
Yeah.
dying, and he was biting everybody. And I walked up and put my hand in the tank and picked him up, and the guy said, "Do you want to take him? Because I can't even handle him, and he's going to die."
Oh yeah, he knew.
Yeah, and I took him, And he would I would give him ivermectin, small doses of ivermectin mixed, with Pedialyte in a tube down his throat, and then put him down my shirt. And he would rest there for a couple of hours, and we would just watch TV, and he'd stick his little head out of my shirt, and he'd taste you, he's smelling you with his tongue, but he'd taste you all over. And anybody else except John and I would walk up to the cage, and he would, bam, bam, bam.
I got so into it, I started building their cages for him. So for
Beautiful
his,
cage.
I had an old TV cabinet I put on wheels, and then I put perches in it for him because he was arboreal.
He thought he was a boreal.
He would
He
eat
wasn't supposed to.
upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a ham.
Yeah, I loved him.
We had a coffee table that the top lifted up. We had 3 pythons under there.
That's amazing. That's what I want.
We had friends over. I'm like, hey, you want to see my balls? I got 3 of them. They were like, what? I lifted out. There's 3 ball pythons.
I remember we had a ball python, Ogden. Unfortunately, he later died of upper respiratory.
Yeah.
And it was
I hate it because you feel like you can't do anything.
Yeah, it was awful. But we had those log things for him, and my grandma was staying with us, and she hated snakes. So of course I was a little shithead. So he was in the log, and his head was kind of in the hole, you could kind of see him. And I was like, Grandma, look at this! Isn't this cool? And she was like, oh, that's a nice log. And she was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, that's our snake. And she was like, ah! Oh my god, she didn't trust me after that.
He was so sweet.
They are the sweetest babies.
Yeah, they are.
Tia, our red tail, she was about, 12 foot?
No, honey.
10 foot?
8 foot.
8 foot?
Yeah, they
I don't know.
get 12 foot.
It's
They
man
get
math.
8 foot.
But I put her around my shoulders, and she would just watch TV and give me a neck massage at the same time.
I had a red tail.
sweet baby.
Fred, he used to just like to wrap around my arm and just chill with me. I would just walk around with him, and then after a while, he'd go up to my shoulders and just hang there.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
never tried to get away.
No.
The only escape snake we had to get
Corn
away was
snakes.
a corn snake.
Us
Yeah.
too.
It made me so mad. I was
we
oh.
had 2 corn snakes. We ended up finding one of them. The other one, we never knew where she went.
Yeah.
We think she just got out.
Yeah.
But then unfortunately, we got another one to kind of, so we had 2 of them. And unfortunately, my mom forgot to latch the cage, and the cat got to him.
Oh.
Yeah. I was heartbroken.
Oh, yes.
And after that, she was like, okay, no more snakes, because she goes, we seem to just have bad luck. I was like, well, Fred was fine, our red tail. He was fine, but she got scared of him because he liked to be, when he would wrap around, he was never constricting you. He just liked to be really close.
Yes.
He was very, and she's like, are you going to take care of him? I was like, I do anyway.
Yes, I might as
Yeah.
well.
The only thing that got to me was the constant care because we raised our own rats, and it just
And you get attached to the
well,
rat.
and you have to clean their cages every day.
That's why my mom and I didn't have them anymore, because I got attached to them.
Yeah,
Ours were named Thomasina and Jerry.
yeah,
And they were brilliant. They were so smart. But killing their babies was like murder to me.
yeah.
It just got
yeah,
hard.
I just don't. Yeah, I
It
mean, I
got
know you
hard.
can get frozen.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
hard.
too much.
But my babies didn't like frozen. It made it really, really hard on you. So
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, oh.
yeah,
But the Argentinian, he got to where he would strike at everybody but us. Mm-hmm. But when we would go up to the cage, he would come down off the perch and stick his head out. And he wanted you to open the door, and you'd open the door, and he'd come straight up your arm and go straight down your shoulder. He's a big baby. He's a big baby.
and now we just have the Bellas
Yes, the Bella's and the bird.
and a terrorist bird.
He is not. Crackers is a good boy.
He's a terrorist.
good boy.
I'm gonna make him a little suicide vest. Well, people will know.
He's a can opener with wings. Yeah. But I love him. He lets me pet him.
Yeah.
But I'm Mama. Yeah. I am Big Bird. So I used to walk in the room, and I would go, "Hey, Bird," every day. One day I walked in the room, and this damn bird looked at me and said, "Hey, Big Bird." He's smart as shit. I'm like, he's creepy. He also speaks in my mother's voice and my father's voice, and he's never met my father.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So my dad had a pet name for me. He called me Sugar Booger. This bird has never met Daddy. And one day I was standing at the cage, and the bird said, "Hey, Sugar Booger." And I collapsed into the floor in a puddle of,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was awful. I was like, "Oh my God, you're talking to my daddy." Yeah, it just killed me. I was like, "Oh my God." It tore me up.
Well, you get people in here every day. I've got spirits in my house. What do I do? I don't know. Make them a plate of food.
Make him a cup of coffee.
Why are you afraid of it?
Yeah,
When you're
right?
in Pennsylvania, everyone's got spirits in their house.
Yeah.
No, literally.
You know, that's kind of goes with the territory.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, ours looks like standing room only in Grand Central. Don't you banish them? No.
No, just, make nice with them. That's all you got to do.
The store's the same way. People are like, it feels so good in here. Yeah.
They
it does.
misunderstand energy because it's eternal. It can't be created. It can't be destroyed. It's always the same amount. Always the same amount. It's AC/DC, people.
Well, the banishment that I do understand, though,
Yeah.
and I do agree with, is, say you've moved into a place that other people have lived in, and you want to banish that ick.
Yeah.
And, who knows what they were or whatever. Maybe they were great. Maybe they weren't. You want
But
to
they leave
kind
an energy imprint.
You want to kind of reset button for that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But ancestors, spirits, and things.
No, and especially if they're really not bothering you,
Yeah.
leave them be. They're not.
Yeah.
So they're making themselves known. You
can
notice.
see me?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's my God. Who knows how long they've been hanging out there just hoping they would bump into somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We definitely have something in ours that just takes shit at the most inconvenient times. Because and it's so crazy because we will swear up and down, both of us, we're like, we have torn this house apart looking for this thing, can't find it. We're like, oh my God, whatever. And then months later it'll just appear and we're like,
Yes.
Yeah. That's very common.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got a friend that lives over an old mine, and he said he's terrified to go in his attic because he said he'll lose things, and he said I can always go to the stairs and go up to the attic, and he said and it'll be laying on the steps, and nobody lives with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, but he's got the attic padlock. He won't even go in it because it's bad.
Who was our friend Christopher in his book on Pennsylvania Dutch? It's The Red Church. And, and the forward, it says something, and I'm paraphrasing, but everybody talks about Salem, Massachusetts, but honestly, there's more witches and spirit work in the state of Pennsylvania. So much so that the state flag should just have a pointed hat.
Yes, I love that.
And I think he's absolutely right.
100%.
The history here and the practices of the people that were here.
all the ghost stories also, and the places you can visit.
I mean,
you put a ghost on that thing too.
Yes, absolutely.
Drive through the hills. I mean, tell me you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. The woods. Oh my gosh.
It's humming.
Yeah,
Yep.
and if you don't feel anything, you just ain't trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things I noticed when we got here, and I hadn't really felt that for a long time.
Yeah.
Was the way that this land felt, the way that the woods felt, the way that, driving through the mountains and the emotions that it evokes when you see it. You look down and it's all oogity boogity and the mist is rising, and that's Pennsylvania.
Which my favorite mountains in the world, though, is Mount Pisgah and the Smokies and those mountains there.
North Carolina, the oogity boogity is on a whole different scale.
The Smokies is oogity all day long, every damn day. I love
Transylvania
it.
County, the waterfalls that are through there.
Have you ever seen Cold Mountain?
The movie.
It sounds familiar.
I stayed on that mountain. A friend of mine owns cabins at the base of it. And it's a book that was written, God, who wrote that? Fraser.
Yeah.
And it's a Civil War story about the guy walking home. Trying not to get caught.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
I think Nicole Kidman is
She
in
was.
it, and Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger stole the show.
Yeah, she did. She's
she
amazing.
was amazing in that.
So it's about that mountain, even though it wasn't filmed there. But it's about that mountain, and we've stayed there, and that's right outside the county he's talking about, and that is the craziest, dark, most beautiful, wild and woolly place you've ever been in your life. Waterfalls cross the road, you drive under them. It's just incredible.
And so to me, that's what evokes the spirit of paganism or
Yeah.
practice.
Yes.
More so than
Yeah.
any chakra tablet or book or
the
whatever.
heaviness of
Is
nature.
being in that part of part of nature and just feeling that feeling.
Exactly.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's all on you.
Yeah.
That's John and I try to go for big nature walks. Like we try to take Orion. It's a little bit hard though because he is still so little.
Yeah.
So it's hard because some of the paths, like he doesn't stay on them. Like he likes to, and we're like,
No, not safe.
Yeah.
not safe.
But those are huge because that creates huge memories.
Yes, it does.
My parents died when I was young, but I still remember spending all that time with my parents in the woods. And
Yes, me climbing.
it was always nature.
Yeah.
And those are what you're doing is amazing because that is a lasting memory. Whether he'll remember it at this age, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he might.
Yeah.
It's really
just
impactful.
even the feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like even when he's old enough to really start doing recognition. Like we already talked about. We saw this. It was a really cute idea. where it's like the colors, and he has to find something in nature to match that color to put on the board.
That's smart.
And I was like, that's the perfect way for him to explore nature, but also learn at the same time and be able to identify what these things are. Like, that's what I'm so excited for, too. Because, I mean, obviously, he's still learning now. I mean, he never stopped. I mean, children never stop learning no matter what age you're at. But especially this, like, he's so in the in-between stage that he's trying to figure things out. And he's so funny because he knows what we're saying. He knows. Yeah. And sometimes he'll listen. He'll be like, okay, whatever. And then other times he's like, no. But he blows my mind every day because he's so good with animals. Like, he loves our cats. He adores them. He's starting to chase them around. They're like, no. Dogs, he's starting to become more acquainted with dogs because a lot of our family members have dogs, but of course we don't. Sad.
One day.
But he's just he's such a bright light. Like, he really is. Yeah. And like, I couldn't be more thankful for him.
That's awesome. I love that.
Such a beautiful little boy.
And then they turn teenagers and tell you they hate you.
It's a hard day.
Enjoy while you can.
I know. And then you get that jadedness where you go, you're supposed to. Yeah. You're supposed to hate me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're not going to agree with everything I say right now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And you take the door off their room so they can't slam it on you.
And the door to never appear again.
It didn't.
Slam that door one more time.
And she didn't believe me. No, went and got the drill and took the freaking door off.
He's so funny though, because he wants to be so fiercely independent always.
Yeah. Of course.
But he's also so like attached to us, and that's what I love though too. Like he's not afraid to come to us for comfort, and I always want him to feel that way. But we still let him be independent. Yeah. Like, like when he falls, it's like, oh, are you okay? Okay, you're fine. You don't go back and play. You know, like I'm here if you need me. But
rub some dirt on it.
Exactly.
Keep on moving.
He had his first scrapes the other day at the park. He scraped his knees and his elbow, and I was like, don't freak out. Don't freak out. I was like, are you okay? Wipe the dirt off of him. He held me for a minute because it scared him because but then he was fine. He was like, all right, I want to go back and play. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, they're tough.
That's
They're tough.
They're a lot tougher than we are.
Yeah.
We fall down and hurt ourselves like that on the elbow and the knee. It's time to go home.
I can watch somebody else fall and hurt.
And feel that all the way down.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, thanks.
That shit ain't funny no more.
That's so funny.
Not like your mom sliding under the car and looking like Gilroy was here.
Yeah, oh my God, that was terrible, and I couldn't help it, and she was really, really hurt, and I couldn't do anything but laugh, because the only thing sticking out from under the car was this, and so I immediately saw that old comic, Gilroy was here, and I was dying.
Oh, no.
She stamped, the lady didn't get her paper. I don't know if somebody stole it or what. And she went to deliver it to the door because it was icy out. And there was an elder. And she went to come back and get back in the car. And she stepped off the curb and it was a little slippery. And she went right under the car. Like a cartoon. It was a cartoon in my head.
She was a little bitty. She was like 4'7".
Oh, no.
Mean as a snake. And so it was kind of like...
I was dying.
Oh, my God.
I'm in the back seat looking out at this.
That's God. Like today's like I got one of my best friends tagged me, and it's the anniversary of when she fell out of her chair. She like busted the chair.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God. I can still see it like plain as day. Like she was just sitting in it. She was kind of rocking a bit, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Oh, that's awful.
Just wiped out right underneath her.
Well, we've been going about an hour and a half.
Yes. Oh shit! Oh my God, that's awesome.
We got to actually open the store and shit.
So we need to teach Orion. I'm going to have a class coming up. He's too young for it yet, but I'm going to be teaching herbal survivalism.
Yes.
And it's going to include edible plants in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
And we're tapping some friends to get the Sierra Club in to do a hike, an edible plants hike.
Oh my gosh, yes, please.
Yes.
Oh my
so
gosh.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
It's coming.
Stay tuned. It'll be in August.
Yeah.
If you guys listened this long, thank you so much, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It was
so
a blast
much.
having
had a good
you. I
time.
love you so much.
I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, come
This
back
is-
anytime.
This is
Oh, I
one of
will.
my adopted kids, and better nobody look at her crosswise.
That's right. I'll sick the pagan parents.
That's right. And we'll get you.
Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So we hope you enjoyed this episode of In the Weeds, and we hope you didn't have to pick too much pucker brush off your cloak after visiting with us here. If you liked the episode, please follow, subscribe, and share. And if you're really kind, leave a positive review. Be sure to tune in next week as we publish a new episode weekly. If you're in the area, stop by the store and see us. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.